Yeah, I think the current fintech investment cycle has been about the last 5 years since the Great Recession. And I think it started off with accelerators, venture capital. 5 years ago, put $2 billion into the sector. Last year, and I think this year as well, is about $20 billion globally. The majority used to be Silicon Valley. 80% of the $2 billion is now $5 billion Silicon Valley, $5 billion New York, $5 million Europe, and $5 billion the rest of the world. So it's become a global phenomenon, which I think is terrific. And now you're starting to see, and I'm not sure if anyone saw the institutional investor Fintech 35 today that came out, but the number one person was a private equity investor from General Atlantic, John Korngold. Great guy, great investor. And it's interesting because I don't think in the last 4 years you would have seen PE up there. But they've obviously made some smart investments, and the maturity of the cycle is such now that firms are getting to that 20, 30, $40 million revenue run rate that started 5 years ago. And I think it's now for the first time ever a ripe opportunity for the winners to be invested by that segment. What you're also seeing even further along the value chain, and I think this is kind of stage 3 of the fintech phenomenon, is that the strategics or the incumbents are now starting to jump in hard. And when 2 years ago, a lot of these big firms, unless they had a VC venture capital arm where they kind of put $100 million aside for R&D, is now very real. And you're seeing some big dollars and some big investments from the strategics. The one caveat, however, is we've seen kind of 3 or 4 big fintech IPOs in the last couple of years. And unfortunately, they haven't performed particularly well to date, whether it's On Deck, Lending Club, Square, and others. So I think that's created a little bit of a cloud in the current environment as people think about exits and putting money to work. But I really do believe that these are just some early stage hiccups and that we'll go beyond it, and that we're still in the very early stages of a great fintech phenomenon. And the way I like to think about it is this. Financial services represents 8.4% of the US GDP, which is $1 trillion. I truly believe that sometime very soon this will become not a $1 trillion financial services industry, but a $1 trillion financial technology industry. And it's happening very, very quickly under our noses.